Good morning, everyone. It is I, Curly K here. It's Tuesday, September 2nd, and we are about to get into our free trade idea of the day. Now, as you can see on United Healthcare, which is what we're actually watching, I do see this beautiful two down hammer candle that actually closed bullishly, and I want to see if we're going to get a continuation. Now, we are down pre market, so we are below that particular trigger, which is perfect. So let's go ahead and map this out. Now, although I am thinking bullishly, as if we're going to get a continuation to the upside, remember the strat, which is the technique that I trade, teaches us to be prepared in either direction. So let's go ahead again and get it mapped out. All right, so this is going to be our call entry on the week. And now we have to figure out our magnitude to the upside. All right, so we're looking at 342.58 as our weekly ATR target. So now let's map out our price targets. And our price targets are essentially areas that we consider taking profit. These are goals that we're actually aiming for. So now let's look and see if we get our downside entry. And because we have a weekly trigger, that means that we need at least 2 weeks on expiration if we do decide to push to the upside. But we have a 4-hour entry for the downside. So the 4-hour entry gives us more of a day trade. So essentially with the downside, you can actually just day trade that. So we're looking for our put entry for the 4-hour. That's where we found that entry at. And now let's get our price targets. So we're looking at 299.68 down. And that's our daily ATR target. And also our price targets have to be mapped out as well. Let's redo that. All right, perfect. So if we do trigger the upside, I would be looking at anything in the money to 335 with a full 2 weeks on expiration. So, for example, we have a short week this week, and let's just say this waits until Thursday to actually trigger the upside. I want 2 full weeks from Thursday, okay? And then to the downside, this is going to be something that has to happen today. So if we do trigger downside, this entry will be null and void after today because it is a 4-hour trigger. So to the downside, I'm looking at anything in the money to 300 for puts, okay? And a weekly expiration will work. So a 1 week expiration will work. So essentially this Friday. To the upside, I would be looking at anything in the money to 335, and I would want a minimum of 2 full weeks on expiration because that trigger came from a weekly time frame, which inherently means that we have to get more time on expiration. So I hope that makes sense. So everyone, this is your free trade idea of the day. If you like these videos and want to see them continuously pouring in, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend or a family member. One other thing before I go, please remember that with triggers, we still want to see market structure being built, which would mean if it moves to the upside, higher highs and higher lows. If it moves to the downside, lower highs and lower lows, or strength and momentum, which strength and momentum, I'll give you an example of exactly what that looks like. Let's just go over to a 5-minute time frame. And let's reset that view. So strength and momentum would look somewhat like this area here, even though you're getting a few higher highs and higher lows. So let's find a better example. A better example of strength and momentum. Let's see. All right. This actually looks pretty decent. So you see how it's just aggressively bullish and just coming to the upside just aggressively. And then over here, you're seeing how it's just sellers are in. That's a lot of strength and momentum. And sometimes it might pair with higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows. But when you see that there is a consistency of bulls in on a majority of the candles, if it's moving to the upside, that's what you want to see. If you don't see market structure up, and then to the downside, you want to see a consistency of bears if you don't see market structure down. So one or the other, or a combination of both, is what I want to see whenever it's triggering those levels. So just want to make that clear for everyone. So again, please like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend or a family member. I hope to see you in baggage claim. Have an amazing day. Bye.